Welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday, the 3rd of June, 2024 to Friday, the 7th of June, 2024. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. All right, so we are going to start with the monthly chart of the Nifty, and pretty much after this consolidation, today's pretty strong gap up move with the election results more or less coming out. Yesterday, we had the announcement of So yesterday we had the announcement of the exit polls, and that is pretty much getting discounted in this move to the upside. Now, what is interesting to see is although the markets have gapped up today, we got to be carefully looking at what exactly has transpired. So if you look at the weekly chart now, we are clearly out of this entire consolidation over here, possibly indicating that markets could indeed move to the upside. And what is interesting to see over here on the daily chart is I have just drawn these two trend lines, and more or less this trend line was always respected in due course of time, right? But now the trend line has broken, and now the trend line is getting tested as a level of support from the opposite side. Now, if you look at this level that I have marked over here, this was an area of supply, and there was a strong move that came in, broke this level of supply, and this level was a strong level of demand. Now, when the price came over here, we saw a strong reaction, and in fact, this was a level which was identified in one of our classes, and this was discussed with our students, and hopefully this level did play out quite well. And now you see this gap up. So what's next on the Nifty? So now, because tomorrow is going to be extremely volatile, because tomorrow we are going to see the counting and more or less the results coming out one by one, the official results to say so. We are seeing a pullback into this area now. And there are a couple of considerations, or there are a couple of scenarios that can take place. The first scenario that I see is that this trend line is respected and market, just continues to move to the upside. Let me just change the color here. So we might see a move straight to the upside, close to around 23,500. That could be the first target, and then obviously 24,000, which is a round number. Now we also see 24,700 also open interest levels building up. So market is showing a little bit of bullishness. But what I see on the downside also, that the highest put buildup is around 20,200. So we cannot rule out the fact that the markets may not, retrace back or pull back, right? Because whenever election news news is announced, there's always a lot of market uncertainty, right? So this is more or less a very, very wide range for the market, nearly 24,000 to the upside and 20,200 to the downside, right? So we got to be a little aware of these levels, especially when the results are going to come out tomorrow itself, right? Now, let's look at some of the key levels over here. And what I'm seeing here is that there is a possibility that in case if the markets do retrace, since the markets have gapped up now, there will be some profit booking. And if there is some profit booking, then I see the markets retracing back to this area over here. This is an area which was a strong resistance, now has become support. And then if the prices do give a strong retracement here, the markets could start pushing up to the upside. So this is one scenario here. The other scenario that I also see that is happening as we speak right now, and let me just show you the India VIX chart here. Now, if you look at the India VIX chart, and let's go to the weekly, let's go to the weekly chart. So 26.50 to 33.92, these are the levels on the VIX. And there is a possibility that tomorrow as well, before the market opens, we might see a strong move of the VIX to the upside. So today you see the VIX has considerably cooled down. And this is going to be more or less the theme for tomorrow as well. So we're going to see a big spike up tomorrow, hopefully in the morning. And then we are going to see a cooling down of the VIX. And what is going to happen is that tomorrow morning, because of this spike up, all the option premiums, the call side as well as the put side, those premiums are going to be super inflated. But once the results, start getting, coming out on television or on social media and so on, we are going to see a big drop in the India VIX, which means that those premiums, which are going to be very, very high, are going to be more or less going to start becoming more and more deflated as time goes on. Okay, so this is going to be more or less the theme for today as well as for tomorrow. We have already started seeing a big fall in the India VIX today, nearly from 25% all the way to 20% odd levels. But I still see that maybe today, by the end of the day today, we might cool down and then we might spike up again into this area here tomorrow. So expect the unexpected, as we always say here. Now, there are these key levels of demand over here on the India VIX. So one is the 17% odd level. This is an area which could be tested. And then we might see another spike up into these 26% areas for the VIX to again cool down. Right. So all the option buyers over here need to be a little careful. So as the VIX is cooling down, there is a possibility that the premiums are going to start getting deflated. But because the spike, because there is more, news element still remaining, right? So I still believe that we might see one more spike up. And then if the India VIX does spike up into these areas, such as 26% or even more higher to say so, it's not going to be a good idea for option buyers to buy options, because what's going to happen is that once the India VIX starts cooling down, then all those high option premiums are going to start getting deflated. And as an options buyer, you might tend to lose more money. All right. So I do believe that this is going to be more of a game of option sellers tomorrow than option buyers, because we know for a matter of fact that the India VIX is going to cool off. Now, if you go to the 240-minute chart, we see some more clear levels over here. This is that level from the daily chart, and this is another level over here. So this is more or less, these are going to be the two key levels for the VIX before the VIX, once it, just spikes up. And this is probably the high that the VIX has made. So tomorrow we might see a test of these highs, or even might go even about 26%, only to again sharply fall. So we're going to see a big drop in the VIX tomorrow. And that is going to be a very, very interesting scenario for the option traders. All right, let's move on to the next chart over here, which is the Bank Nifty. So if you look at the Bank Nifty chart, we'll start off with the monthly chart. Again, a very, very strong gap up here. So we have a potentially gap area that has been that has occurred over here. And there is going to be a fulfillment of this gap at some point in time, but we don't know when. In case if the markets are going to print a new high, then markets are even going to go further up. Now, if you look at the weekly chart is more or less showing a lot of bullishness on the Bank Nifty, and probably right now there is no sense of correction over here. In fact, even you can see very clearly here that we had this trend line drawn, and how well this trend line has respected. And now there is this new level of demand which is created right over here, where the markets did correct, and now they have broken all above the prior highs. Right? So all these supply zones are now removed, indicating that there is more demand in play. Now, usually when such an all-time high is printed, you will see that price may not retrace all the way back to these levels of demand, but you might see price retracing back to the all-time high. So in case if there is an unexpected news coming out, and if there is a little bit of a correction, then what we might expect to see is Bank Nifty again coming here and then trying to do something like this and continuing its move to the upside. So it's going to be an interesting scenario tomorrow. So let us wait and watch. Let's also trade very, very cautiously. And in case if you are a trader who wants to take a maximum benefit out of the election news, then my suggestion would be that whenever you trade, you just want to split your position size and maybe go half position size just to control the overall risk element, because markets are going to move up, down, and they might just probably just hit more stop losses than expected. So always it's good to curtail your risk and maybe go half position size than your usual position size that you do on a regular basis. So this is a key level of demand on the bank Nifty, and then again you might see this level tested. All right, if you go into the open interest levels of bank Nifty, we clearly see that 51,000 is acting as a strong open interest, and that is exactly where the markets opened today. And then we saw a big fall in price, and now we are again seeing a very, very strong rally in price. And to the upside, we see 54,000. So again, very, very bullish on the bank Nifty, and we also see 45,000. So pretty much 54,000 and 45,000, this is going to be probably a very, very big range to play. And more or less all the option sellers are going to take advantage of these levels and probably sell out of the money options beyond these levels, expecting the bank Nifty not to reach those levels. But like I said, we have the entire June month of expiry. And as I said, that tomorrow and probably day after tomorrow, we will get to see even larger move coming into the market. So you got to be a little careful. Now this trend line is getting respected. So any kind of corrective move we might see this, this trend line getting respected again. So just be a little watchful that in case even if the market corrects, it might, just break this level of demand and try and confluence with this level of demand where there is this trend line confluence, right? So what I'm seeing here is that in case if the market does correct, then we might see something like this, a test of this trend line, and then probably coming here, which might also test this level of demand and push the markets to the upside. So yes, the view is indeed bullish, but it's just going to be more or less buy on retracement than anything else. All right. Now what we are going to be doing is usually we look at different stocks and different sectors, but there is one specific stock that is probably going to get likely most impacted because of the news, and that's going to be Adani Enterprises. All right, so let's load the Adani Enterprises chart. And a lot of people on social media have been talking a lot about this stock and what its impact can be. Recommendations coming in to buy these stocks and so on and so forth. But I've only picked up Adani Enterprises from all the Adani Group stocks because, out of those 5-6 Adani Group stocks, all this Adani Group stocks are making all-time highs, except for Adani Enterprises. And what is interesting to see is that today also Adani Enterprises has gapped up. But what is even more interesting is look where we are coming in. Okay, so we are coming in straight into an area of monthly supply, right? And as per the supply and demand theory, anything that is in a monthly level of supply, one needs to be very, very careful. So based on the monthly chart, what I expect to see on Adani is that more or less the retail traders might get a little bit more sucked in to, buy this stock because of, the euphoria, because of the new government that is going to be formed. But at the same time, one needs to be extremely careful because we are coming in straight into a higher time frame supply zone. And this is where I see that there is a potential of a very, very strong profit booking coming in, which means that the prices could gap up again tomorrow over here because of the euphoria, might go a little bit more deeper and then push to fill in this gap and then probably start even going further down. All right. So just be careful and just don't, blindly follow free tips or any kind of advices that are given, because you have to, put on your microscope if you want to become very, very good with your demand and supply levels. and identify potential market turning points in the market. All right. Can my view be completely wrong, and can Adani break this supply zone and make an all-time high? Obviously, yes. But look at how much the price has traveled to the upside, nearly from 1141 levels when the negative news had come out as such, and prices are now back at those supply zones from where the prices had actually strongly fallen down. All right, so just be a little careful. Okay, now even more, we have a confluence of open interest levels. So we have call one, call two, call three, and look at the confluence within these supply zones, right? So this is telling us that probably it's not going to be very, very easy. And the most Adani enterprises can go up is towards this 3,900 odd level. And you can see that there is a level on top of level over here. We see one level of supply. Let me just draw it more clearly over here. So we see this entire level of supply over here. And then you also see a level on top of that, right? So it's not going to be very easy for Adani to break these levels and move to the upside. Even, the news is extremely good. All right. So just be a little careful. What you might see that you might see an extensive profit booking coming in this stock for tomorrow. All right. So pretty much I wanted to keep it very, very sweet and simple for this week. Trade carefully and wish you all the very best with your trading for tomorrow and for the entire week. Looking forward to see you all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.